Good intentions, poor execution is what I heard Spirit say. And then I heard deliver a message. I was reaching into the fridge. I grabbed some raspberry apricots, and the first one I bit into was super tart. So I tossed it out and I grabbed another one, and that one, I started to eat it, and then I pulled the pit out, and I wasn't thinking. And this is important in the message. Like, maybe you weren't thinking, all right? I wasn't thinking, and I threw the rest of the apricot away and still had the pit in my hands. So there may be something here that you maybe had really good intentions, but your execution of those intentions, the behavior, the actions behind it may not have had the impact that you were hoping that they had. And we'll just see what Spirit has to say about that. We have the Nine of Swords coming out, which is one that's pretty painful. It's often one about almost being haunted, like haunted. Maybe you're feeling a little haunted by the fact that you had good intentions and the impact wasn't what you expected, and you don't know what to do about it. I feel like that's where you're at, where you're like, man, I tried to do everything right and it still didn't come out the way that I had hoped, or someone took offense to it, or you didn't have the right tools in your toolbox to handle the situation. But now these like thoughts are really coming at you. A lot of the time, like at night, you may be having disruptive dreams right now. You can see in this card, there's a lot of like energy hovering over with those swords that are there. And this person is in like this sleeping type of position. Now, these three came out, sorry, I can't talk right now. Maybe you're having a hard time thinking of what you're supposed to be saying too. These three came out face down. So things that you do need guidance and clarity on. Okay, we're gonna ask if this is the way we're gonna flip them. I hear yes, all three of them, yes, and we're gonna fan them out. Okay, so perhaps there is something that maybe you need to reconcile. This also could read as something that you felt that you needed to do in order to have justice. Like you felt justified in something that you did. I'm hearing that you felt justified in what you did, what you said. You thought you were in the right to say it, and your intentions were good. Perhaps you were sticking up for yourself, but there is some reconciliation that needs to happen if you want things to turn back around in a positive direction. So some accountability. If you want permanent movement in a positive way forward in whatever situation this is for you, I don't have any indication of what kind of situation this is yet. Take what resonates for you. But we have the Justice card here, the Chariot card. Both of these are major arcana cards. So this is where we're getting that energy of like, sure, it may have been justified, but just because it's justified doesn't mean that it didn't hurt somebody, and that there isn't a conversation that needs to be had in order to work through that pain. Sometimes all people need is a conversation, and that takes two people having to be willing to come to talk about it. This doesn't mean that you need to give like blanket apologies or anything like that. Just there may need to be more communication on whatever this is that has created this hiccup. That is how you're going to find permanent movement forward, or long-term movement forward. A way to move past this obstacle that is really affecting you. Very much during the night, maybe not while sleeping, but maybe in the later evening hours, it pops up into your mind. That's how you're going to turn this around. This is the Four of Wands. It's about celebrations, happy families, happy relationships, things like that. Union is sometimes what it is, like joyous occasions. Came out in reverse. So this is telling me that these are the keys to get yourself where you want to be, where you can turn this back around. Okay. What else, Spirit, would you like this person to know? What can give them a little bit more clarity on the situation? Again, we have a face down card. That one's face up. Four of Swords. There is some introspection that you can do. You do need to rest your mind on this. It's not going to help you to spin it over in your head over and over and over again in a negative way, only if it's going to be constructive. We have the Four of Swords coming out here. There's some introspection that you can do, some deep reflection on yourself. Again, accountability is coming up here with this Four of Swords. And that is done in quiet. So you've got to give yourself time to really think, like put yourself in the other person's shoes for a moment. And if you still feel the same way, at least you could let that person know that you have considered it from their side, and let them know all the things that you considered. And if they're willing to talk to you about it, like, this is going to be different for each person. I may be getting a little bit too specific here, but it's going to be different for each situation, each person. If you want something that's more clear for you, you can book with me at pagehook.com. But you are being asked to bring an offering forward, an emotional offering forward to someone. So I want to be really blunt with you. Even though you're justified, you're in the wrong. And I know not everything's about right and wrong, and I use wrong very lightly there. But you had an impact, and you need to hold yourself accountable for it. If not for that person, then for yourself, for your integrity. So you are being asked to bring forward an emotional offering. Now, if this person has blocked you and told you, please don't ever speak to me again, you need to just accept that and move on with your life, okay? But you can still energetically release that energy of like accountability into the universe. That's also possible. But you are being asked to be vulnerable. The Knight of Cups is an emotions card, okay? Cups are emotion. You are being asked to bring forward a moving knight. The knight is on the move, and you're being asked to bring forward this emotional offering, this deep emotional offering. See how he's walking on the bottom of whatever water that is, a lake, a sea. It's deep, it's depth, okay? It's not surface level stuff. We're talking about deep stuff. Give me a clarifier card for this, your Spirit. I want to make sure I'm on the right track for what we want to say next. Okay, so you are someone that is probably pretty well grounded in your life. This is what I'm getting for this energy. You're a very focused person. You're very successful and supportive of people. Like, you may be a parent, you may be a business owner, you may be a manager of some kind. King of Pentacles coming out here with the Eight of Pentacles right next to it. But you lack a little bit of like trust, a little bit of faith, maybe a little bit of courage of taking that next step. And so Spirit wants you to remember that, like, the same level of drive and ambition that you bring to your work life, you can also bring to your relationships. You're also a leader there as well. You're also very grounded there as well. I know emotions may not be the easiest thing for you to bring forward, or admitting when you're wrong may be hard for you. Accountability may be hard for you. Sitting deeply in emotions may also be hard for you. That's okay. That's okay. Start practicing is what I'm hearing. Start practicing that. Anything else? Eight of Wands. And slow down in your speech. Okay, that doesn't mean stop talking to people. That doesn't mean ghost them and don't send them a message. Eight of Wands in reverse is coming out here. And I'm hearing slow down in your speech so you don't regret what you say. All right, Four of Pentacles. You may need to hold something back in the future so that you are not impulsively speaking. I hope this is helpful for you. If you would like to have a session with me, you can book at pagehook.com. I do not reach out to you for readings. Thank you for your time and for letting me read for you today. And I wish you well on your journey.